Good evening, and welcome to Electronic Game Information and our continuing coverage of the Level Up Games Expo. Level Up has come and gone, but we are still here in beautiful downtown Las Vegas, Nevada, bringing you the most up-to-date video game news from the video game world that we can find. Now, we here at EGI had a lot of positive feedback about our coverage of Revenge of the Bird King. And so much so that we decided that we would take some time tonight to do some extra coverage of a game that I feel has not had the attention that it deserves in recent years. I am, of course, talking about Colony Wars. There were 3 Colony Wars games, and we will talk about each of them in turn, starting with the first Colony Wars released for the first PlayStation in 1997. Alan, are you there? Alan?
Yes, Robby.
Hey, Alan, are you ready to talk about the wonderful epic struggle between the League of Free Worlds, the Colonial Navy, and the Earth Empire?
Yes, Robby, absolutely. Whatever you want, I'm here to support you in the show. I'm not going to mess up. I'm here to talk about Colony Wars.
Colony Wars for the first Colony Wars for the original PlayStation is a wonderful space shooting simulation. It's outer space. It's 3D. It's a lot of fun. Wouldn't you say so?
Yes.
Now, Alan, if you could sort of extrapolate on that a little bit. I mean, we've had a lot of years between the original release of Colony Wars in 1997 and now. So what's been happening in the space simulator shooter genre in that period of time?
Yes, so much has happened in the Colony Wars. I don't think we have time in the show to go through it all because it's so interesting and so much has happened. But the things that have happened, I can't even begin to tell you about them. Back to you, Robby.
Back to you, Alan. And of course, you are already you're starting to look better. You're starting to look fresher. You look like the poison inside of you has evaporated and has been replaced with the liquid that the body needs to function properly.
Yes, Robby, that is right. I had a bit of Vegas is a hard town, and it's a hard city, and people live fast and free everything is interesting here. And I had an adventure that got me too excited, and the doctor said I had inflammation and dehydration. I had to drink alkaline water. So a night's rest and a bottle of alkaline water can do a world of difference. I feel fresh and ready to not disappoint. I will not disappoint, and I am Alan on Electronic Game Information, and it's a great show. You
could say, Alan, that the alkaline water that you are drinking right now is like the fuel that would be inside of the space fuel for the space ships in Colony Wars.
That's a great point, Robby. I would say that the alkaline water that I've been drinking is a lot like the fuel inside of the spaceships in the spaceship in the Colony Wars. Back to you, Robby.
Well, back to you, Alan, and let's take a quick video look back at the original Colony Wars on the PlayStation. Roll tape.
Enemy fighters detected.
Alan, you're the Colony Wars expert, so why don't you tell us exactly what we are looking at here?
That's right, Robbie. I am clean-headed and clear-headed. I'm looking at a clip from Colony Wars, and
this seems to be a review of Colony Wars from IGN 1997. Seemed to be a pretty good review.
Okay, yes, it seems like a popular game, though. A pretty good review, and this is the gameplay. This
is one of those famous Colony Wars interstellar spectacular ships. And here's another review.
Right, what is that?
That's a review of Colony Wars from GameSpot. It's the 1997 review of Colony Wars.
Right, well, wow. Okay, so that's Colony Wars, and this is Colony Wars.
Yeah, these
and
are
so
starfighters. These are having sort of a dogfight in outer space. You can see all these beautiful colors and just very nuanced kind of movement happening on the screen.
Yeah, I see.
And there's another review that seems to be all these wonderful observations about the quality of the original Colony Wars.
I think I caught that. And these are laser blasters, and they're shooting in space, and
so what's that little purple thing at the bottom?
I don't know.
Is that?
I think I see something from a different. Is that? I see the Death Stars in the game.
That doesn't look like. That looks like it could. It was upside down. So, or it was two sides, or it's the same side.
Okay.
So if you could read us that review, then we could get a little bit of some insight into Colony Wars. What did we just look at there, Alan?
Well, Robbie, everything on the streets of Las Vegas looks a little different than it does inside the nice, cozy studio. And I guess we were looking at a clip from Colony Wars. Back to you, Robbie.
Back to you, Alan. And, of course, we do have sort of a list of things that we can read about the Colony Wars
for the
PlayStation. So let's talk a little bit about the weapons, because I think, if you're playing one of these space shooters, outer space, you're in outer space, you're enjoying the freedom of movement that only space... only the void of space allows. So, you want to make sure that when you're out there and you're having your adventure, you have the best arsenal available. So why don't you tell us about your favorite Colony Wars weapon?
Oh, my favorite Colony Wars weapon. My favorite Colony Wars weapon would have to be one of the blasters or the guns that is equipped to your ship.
The sort of standard blaster, the one that never runs out of ammo, sometimes overheats, I think.
That's
some of these blasters. I have to, but I think that what people really want to know about are the different secondary weapons, your missiles, your torpedoes, everything that you might have a more limited inventory of. You'll be glad to get it because those are more powerful weapons. If you want to use something like the motion missile, Alan, why don't you tell us a little bit about the motion missile? Track the motion of enemy craft. Is that correct?
Yes, the motion missile. The motion
missile.
Cracks
the enemy craft.
The enemy craft.
There's also the tracker missile, however, isn't there? So what's the difference between the motion missile and the tracker missile?
I would have to imagine that the motion missile just goes by motion, and the tracker missile actually can know where you are and it tracks.
So sort of like it could be a kind of a heat-seeking missile.
Yes, it sounds like it's probably a heat-seeking missile. It's been a long time.
I don't know. Imagine that even in the void of space where there is no temperature, that the heat coming off of the human body because of the passions being sort of brought into being in the Colony Wars, because this is a war.
Absolutely, I know.
It's not just a name. It's a series of events.
And I do know what you're talking about.
Starting with the 47th century.
And we're here covering the Level Up Expo in Las Vegas.
What is hyperspace? And where is that?
Hyperspace is generally just when you go extra fast through regular space. It's called hyperspace.
What's subspace?
It's the same thing. Subspace is similar to hyperspace. Is at least my understanding about the two is that they're interchangeable. It just means you're going very fast in space. And I'm happy to talk more about Colony Wars, but back to you, Rob.
Back to you, Alan. And we have, of course, an EGI. These are some EGI exclusive Game Shark codes for Colony Wars on the PlayStation. So if you're looking for infinite missiles, you'll want to enter the following numbers and letters into your Game Shark device. 80119CC00006 will give you infinite missiles. 8019C4C0000 will give you infinite anti-shield lasers. So if you're imagining you need to break through the shields You'll need those anti-shield lasers, and you'll never run out if you enter 80019C4C0000 into your Game Shark device, Alan.
Got it.
Now, it can't be understated how much of a splash Colony Wars made on the console space shooter simulator market in 1997. So it was of no surprise when a developer Psygnosis and publisher Psygnosis decided to finish the fight with Colony Wars Vengeance in 1998. And here it is, a look back at Colony Wars Vengeance on the PlayStation 1, 1998. A very good year for Colony Wars games. If you are a fan of the Colony Wars of 1997, you can just skip ahead 1 year and be in 1998 with a follow-up to Colony Wars. And here's the video for Colony Wars Vengeance. Alan?
Okay. Response to player. Pack number. Is this? I can't. I can't really see the game.
So this does seem to be an outer space kind of shooter. It seems to be twin lasers firing off into the void of space, the planetoids and planetary bodies. And a devastating Sentinel. The word Sentinel pops out to me, Alan. What does that mean?
Right, it's in quotes. Is it ironic? I'm not quite sure why.
It could be a reference. That looks like the ship from the Macross movies.
Huh. And this is a different. This is Colony Wars.
Well, the reason that Sentinel does jump out to me, Alan, is because Psygnosis or Psygnosis did have a game called Sentinel.
So, it's a reference.
And this seems to be a really interesting type of. You see some differences in the cockpit here, from what I can tell.
I think that hasn't changed. That makes the games nearly impossible. Level of difficulty. Colony Wars Vengeance is.
Colony Wars Vengeance is.
And this is Colony Wars Vengeance that we're looking at.
And devastating Sentinel super weapons. I mean, how devastating does it need to be to have the word Sentinel attached to it, Alan?
I don't know. I would imagine it would have to be quite a devastating thing.
Well, we have a very special announcement, Alan. Tonight we have a very special announcement. We have a guest here tonight here in the Electronic Game Information Studios.
What?
It is a
Who is
a wonderful guest named Jamel Johnson. Jamel Johnson is entering the studio right now. We have a actual Colony Wars expert with us here. Jamel Johnson
Robby, I know
is
a lot
an
about
artist,
Colony Wars.
a comedian, a writer, an actor, and of course,
that's so great. But Robby, I know a lot about Colony Wars.
who has spent as much time playing the Colony Wars games and thinking about the Colony Wars games.
But next time you need a Colony Wars expert, look no further than me. You don't need a special guest. I could do guest.
If you think about how expert panels work, usually you have two experts, and those are Jamel and you on the show. So what you'll be doing is kind of a crossfire like relationship. So where you two, I as the moderator, you must try and impress me with your Colony Wars knowledge. Jamel, welcome to the show. So happy to have you here after all these years. And we kiss the arm because we are safe. And we are talking about Colony Wars Vengeance.
I don't want
what the freak is popping, bro?
What is popping is the space battles in outer space.
Yo,
you saw them out there, the League of Free Worlds and the Empire, Earth Empire, the Father and the Tsar are going at it. Their spaceships are deadlocked in outer space battle, and there is just a lot of drama happening.
You know I love drama, Robby.
You love drama. You love the drama of the Colony Wars series.
Absolutely.
You love the Colony Wars games. If there's 3 Colony Wars games, which one is your favorite?
I'm gonna say.
Alan, are you paying attention to this?
Closely.
I'm gonna say Colony Wars 2, Back in the Habit.
Colony Wars 2 is back in the habit of bringing you epic space battles, although from the other side of the war from the original game. Isn't that correct?
Yeah. Whoopi Goldberg's in both, but this time she's teaching inner city youths in San Francisco how to play.
Alan, you hear this?
That's the plot of Sister Act. He's messing with you.
I'm well aware.
I
But it's funny because I love. First of all, big Whoopi Goldberg fan.
she's great.
No problems with Whoopi Gold.
I just wanted to come in with a lighthearted.
You've
thing.
got to
I'm
come in.
feeling,
It's warming us up. He's
I'm
Jamel.
kinda
We're so happy to
It's
have
very
him
funny.
here. He's
Yeah.
funny. He's lighthearted. We're talking about the serious stuff. I mean, players that play the Colony Wars games are a serious bunch, and
That's
every once in a while you do have to crack the surface with like cracking the hard-boiled egg in the morning. You crack the players of the Colony Wars series.
quick. One
A
touch.
quick one tap.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about how to play Colony Wars Vengeance, since we did just look at these Colony Wars
this-
Vengeance
I like
video.
this Bobby Brown.
It is wonderful to figure out how to play these types of games. So what I have written down here is that you aim at the moving reticle when fighting a small ship. It shows you where you need to aim in order to hit the ship as it is moving, and as it takes time. And it takes time for the laser to travel, and it takes time. What is
So
that?
you have to like move. So like when you're shooting, the target's moving.
Right,
You have to
so
line
you're
it
moving-
up for where it's going.
Yes. So it's a strategy, is what you're telling me.
This is a real colony.
This is a really colony. It's a brutal colony war because in the
Whoa.
47th century, human civilization has expanded past its planetary borders
Yeah.
and it is out in the far reaches of space. So when you can imagine the League of Free Worlds comes back with the vengeance, the Colony Wars vengeance, although Colony Wars vengeance is from the Earth Empire side. Alan.
Robbie, do you want me to do a interview with a character out here?
No, we've got no character interviews. Nobody's stopping by. Where you are at, Alan, you are out there on the scene, on the street. You
Wait,
are
hold that.
alone. You are the sole.
Hold that.
You are the sole person, and you are not lonely, but you will not be visited.
Back to you.
None of
So,
the old ladies with the-
Jamel Johnson, if I could just, we were talking a little bit about the different types of weapons in the first Colony Wars game, and
Right.
I'd like to talk about the weapons of the second Colony Wars game, but I don't have a list of the weapons from the second Colony Wars game. So what's the plan here? What's next?
As far as how to discuss the weapons,
Yeah. Do we just make them up now?
probably. I mean, come
So we
on.
have the
Who's
motion missiles,
anybody check
tracker
us?
missions. No, there's a few people checking Colony Wars
this
game
thing doesn't
facts,
have a fucking
message boards,
Wikipedia page. No, this,
and nobody's. If you were to, so you've got the heat-seeking
yeah.
tracker missile of
Yeah.
Allen,
Yeah, you got the heat seeker tracking missile.
and
Yeah.
you've got the motion tracking tracker missile.
See, and then you got the laser. And the
So what
torpedo.
kind of missile would you need? Would you imagine you would want to be able to add to the ship's arsenal? The
You could-
loadout.
the
for the
defense
Colony Wars
pod would
ship?
be
the
cool.
defense pod. How's
Yeah, it's like-
tell us a little bit about the defense pod.
I
Well,
mean, it's like
Jamel, it's
it's
you're
like,
great.
It's like Panic Room,
Panic room.
but just in it. What if it's just like a little cabinet?
And you sort of eject it out there.
Yeah, yeah. you
And the
just pull it
Colony
out,
Wars
gravy.
find their way.
Yeah.
The colonies. Is it a colony or is it? Who's using it? I'm confused.
Okay, the first 13 colonies. That's
Take your
Virginia,
time because we have all the time in the
EMP
world.
gun. There's a grapple gun.
New Hampshire,
The mole missile, motion missile, plasma torpedo.
Vermont. Is Vermont the first 13?
Scatter gun, tracker missile. Robbie, I know all about Colony Wars. So,
Well,
When did Indiana become a state?
it was a great. That was a wonderful answer from Jamel Johnson. Very thoughtful answer. Very deep answer. We're talking about the Colony
Robbie,
Wars.
I'm the Colony Wars
And
expert.
now we have to take a. Now that we are moving down the timeline of Colony Wars games, we are now at the third Colony Wars game. Let's take a look at the third Colony Wars game, Colony Wars Red Sun. Roll the Colony Wars Red Sun clip, and we can take a long, good look at the Colony Wars in action.
That owl is cracking. Well, there it is. In
Oh,
the wrapper.
it-
It's still in the wrapper. Then you bust it out there.
701638. So let's take that down and let's watch the Colony Wars clip.
Should I put that in my notes?
Alan? Great. All right, so that was our Colony Wars Red Sun clip. It was a very exciting clip, and
Great
it was
look.
very good to look at. Wouldn't you say so,
Great look.
Alan?
Yeah.
What tell us about what you're on the ball now. Let's hear your thoughts of Colony Wars Red Sun, the clip that we just watched.
Robby, Colony Wars Red Sun is a great game. You run a wonderful show, and the amount of work you put into it is undeniable, and I just love watching the clips you show. They're always so interesting.
Well, so one of the things, Alan, I'd like you to comment on is in terms of the Colony Wars, the Red Sun, the third Colony Wars game. There's a couple of different sort of deviations from the Colony Wars formula. One of the big innovations of the Colony Wars Red Sun is, of course, the ability to target parts of the larger capital ships that you are combating in these outer space environments.
Chop them right.
You sort of
Knock them out.
knock out the turrets
Piece by, yeah.
one after the other. Have a great time doing it. You don't have to just focus your fire blindly on these large ships out there in the outer space. You can actually use your limited secondary weapons like your tracker missiles, your defense pods, which Jamel, you kind of explained so beautifully, and now you can target more precisely what you're trying to get.
Absolutely, and it's such an interesting point by Robby, and all of the points you make are usually so good. I feel like I have a lot to say about this, and I just feel like I would be able to comment on it better if I was in the studio with you, and not if Jamel was. Maybe if Jamel was out on the street, that could be interesting, and I could be in the studio with you, and I just think that would maybe help me in my thought process. Back to you, Robby.
Back to you, Alan. Jamel is here in the studio with me, and we are having an incredible, obviously, conversation about these three games, the differences between these three games. The truth about the Colony Wars Red Sun is as follows. The first Colony Wars game, you have a very clear motive. You are part of the rebellion of the League of Free Worlds, rebelling against the Earth Empire and the Tsar. In the second game, you start off at the outset. You start as a fighter pilot in the Earth Empire's Imperial Navy. In the third game, you play as a mercenary.
Okay.
So if you can imagine what the difference between those three types of people are going into this great conflagration, this great interstellar conflict that we call the Colony Wars.
Way different vibes.
Way different vibes. And you have, of course, a different type of mission select system. You still have some of the elements within the Colony Wars series, such as branching story paths depending on which missions you complete or fail. And you also, in Red Sun, you do have that new inventory management system and sort of a monetary system where you can earn money by completing missions to upgrade your ship to better experience the Colony Wars as they should be. Alan.
I just want to say I really am impressed by the amount of time and coverage you've put toward talking about Colony Wars. You know, you've been given this amazing platform. People tune in, they give you money to make this show, and you've spent so much of the show talking about Colony Wars.
I mean, was it supposed to be about something else?
No, we dedicate an entire episode to Colony Wars because so few people talk about this game anymore. I mean, you go back to 1997, 1998, year 2000, when Colony Wars Red Sun completed the trilogy, and all of a sudden it kind of wraps up. If we could just take a moment, because I have been, kind of preparing for the show, researching the Colony Wars games, I'd like to show you an image here that I have made. This is an image, it's sort of a piece of art that I made of my sort of thinking about Colony Wars. This is not an actual Colony Wars ship. Is that a
little penis on the bottom?
No, that is what I believe to be a kind of emerald. We don't know how these Colony Wars ships actually operate in outer space. So
emerald's pink now.
So I consider that to be more of a fuchsia. Alan, what do you think? Fuchsia or is that pink? Is that a funny color to use for an emerald?
Absolutely not, Robby. I think you hit the nail on the head. That's fuchsia emerald, not anything dirty. It's just a fuchsia emerald.
I mean, that's fair.
And of course, you can imagine the energy passing through the circuitry of the ship and out the emerald, being focused by the emerald into a laser that is then shooting down other Colony Wars starfighters, spacecraft.
Okay.
It is truly a different way of thinking about combat, flight combat, when you have so little, when the void of space is the environment.
This is amazing.
And let me just say, I mess with it too. And I don't mean to penis shame y'all emeralds. You know what I'm saying? I just thought it kind of looked like. But that's
we're just so happy to have you here, Jamel. It's such an honor to be able to sit here with you and discuss these issues. We will not take. You can say almost anything, and we will not take offense.
Oh, I mean, all right.
So let's go to the phones and let's see what people are saying about Colony Wars. Alan, are you excited to hear what the viewers are talking about? To hear what their thoughts are now that we've sort of brought all of this information to the table?
Yes.
And we are ready to have our first caller of the evening. Hello, caller. You're on the air with Electronic Game Information with Robby, Alan, and Jamel. And we are talking about Colony Wars.
Hi. Okay, so I just wanted to say at first that I really love the fact that you guys are talking about such nostalgic games. But I don't know. What do you think about Colony Wars? Have you played it yourself? Do you really enjoy it?
I extensively, and the point, and
Me too.
you can't. And Alan is of course a big Colony Wars fan. Jamel's the Colony Wars.
I used to run it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we used to play it at the park.
At the park,
Awesome.
and
All right.
that's when you had those portable, sort of PlayStation clamshell PlayStations for the portable PlayStation. You plug them into the street lamps, or perhaps the back of the bathrooms, or wherever you could find an outlet. So
Yeah, Penn
Colony
Station
Wars,
Terminal.
Penn Station Terminal, Union Station, all the stations
All the stations.
on Earth before we left in the 47th century.
Yeah, you know what's up.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great sort of story to build off of, especially with the whole idea of futuristic space travel and stuff like that, especially with such low graphics, and it's awesome. I have a question for Alan, really quick. Are you jealous that Jamel is in the studio and you're not?
Oh,
Are you okay?
I can answer that for Alan.
No,
Look, you don't gotta
I don't
make it about.
No, I'm not
his
jealous.
jealousies.
I'm happy that Robby has expanded the show to include other people, and I'm happy that the EGI family is growing. And I just want to support Robby
And Jamel.
and I want to support Jamel.
Jamel Johnson, Colony Wars expert. Jamel Johnson, bringing us so much wonderful insight into into the subject matter of this evening. And thank you for your call. We have another caller on the line. Hello, caller. You're on the air with Electronic Game Information. This is Robby, Alan, and Jamel. Give us your thoughts on Colony Wars.
I would definitely say that it is Colony, and it's a great one.
It's a great one.
It's for sure
It's
a war.
better than one great one. It's three great ones. It's one of the great trilogies, I think, of science fiction, especially coming out of the 20th century with all the woes and the devastation and the catastrophe that sort of brought us through the first half of the 20th century to sort of revisit the idea of such a vast and open-ended war where literally anything can happen.
It's definitely one of my top science fiction trilogies. Probably the best science fiction trilogy I could even think of. Colony Wars.
Colony War fan caller, you are on the air with Electronic Game Information. Why don't you tell us about your favorite secondary Colony Wars weapon?
I like the artillery cannon.
The artillery cannon.
Yeah.
And that is of course a weapon with finite ammo.
The big one, right?
The big one.
Oh, that's the big one.
It's really big, I think.
Definitely.
And I'm pretty sure that it has ammo.
Yes.
Smart.
Because if it's a secondary weapon, that usually means that it's one of the more powerful ones. That
Is
it's
it
one
just
of the ones.
shooting pallets?
It's a pallet.
Is it just shooting pallets of like
Pallets of
Costco
metal
weapons?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I mean, I knew that, but
I would agree.
yeah.
It sounds like a fragmentation weapon. How does what's space like, caller?
It sounds cold.
Is it cold or is it warm?
It's kind of cool.
Because I get different. Depending on who I ask, I get a different answer every time.
Would you be able to tell?
I guess not. I mean, isn't that the existential question?
Is there an up and down in space?
Nah, only in and out.
Well, that's why you had that purple kind of radar thing that sort of spins on its own, and you don't know which way is up or down. There's no north, east, south,
Yeah.
west.
Right.
That's why there's no gangs out there.
Right.
Because
Fully
exactly,
have
well,
one
except
life.
for the Earth Empire and the League of
Yeah.
Free Worlds,
But
which of
except
course
for them,
are
2 gangs.
much larger gang.
Yeah, that's like different.
Yeah, they're big.
Thank you for
I
your
remember
call.
them.
We have another caller on the line, and we are just having such a wonderful conversation with Jamel here. He is telling us so much about ourselves, because when you look at a series like this that asks the tough questions about what it means to be in a colony war, if you would be so bold as to
that's my dad.
kind of like put a kind of psychological, a sort of an imprint on it for us, Jamel Johnson.
Oh, like, I mean, okay, so when Colony Wars 1 comes out, like,
Right.
people aren't even talking about war like that.
Well, because it was 1997, we hadn't
Yeah.
even started the sorties over the Balkans yet.
Yeah, there was none of that. We weren't even like messing with Kosovo or nothing.
Right.
This kind of brought war back into the public focus, you feel me?
Absolutely.
And then by the time 2 comes in, you know, war is like the hottest. It's like
Exactly.
Yeah.
War is hell. It's vengeance. Caller, you are on the air with Electronic Game Information. Alan, Robby, and Jamel, we are talking about colony wars in a way that no one else has ever talked about colony wars before.
Yeah, that's very odd.
You heard?
So your thoughts, your sort of feelings, if you knew someone who was in the colony wars, if you have a special weapon that you would like to use, if you would and of course we have Game Shark code if you would like some of those.
Yo, email me them.
I
actually
could
like
use
it.
some Game Shark codes. I haven't completed the Colony Wars,
Well, you
nor have
if
I
you
played all of them.
you haven't if you were playing the first Colony Wars, you could complete it very easily with Infinite Shields. If you would like me to reveal to you the Game Shark codes for
I think-
Infinite Shields.
I think that would be good.
It's
That sounds-
800463B4
Let me get a pen.
00EE. So thank you for your
Oh,
call,
man.
and use those Infinite Shields wisely. We have another caller
Oh, I will.
on the line. Hello, caller. You're on the air with Jamel and Robby. And Alan.
And Alan.
Hello, how are you?
Alan.
And Alan is here as well.
Hi, Alan. How are you?
I'm feeling much better now, thank you.
Okay, that's good at least. So, what are y'all talking about?
Well,
Colony War.
Colony Wars. We were talking about the Colony Wars trilogy for the original PlayStation, which we are doing a very deep retrospective of this week. We're sort of going through the facts,
minutes.
kind of cutting out the, sort of getting a deeper look than what you would get if you just were reading the back of the Colony Wars CD case or just the instruction manual within the Colony Wars CD case.
We're
doing
40 minutes, been talking about Colony Wars for 40 minutes, so it's a
40
real
solid.
in-depth look, so you're not going to get that anywhere
Yeah.
else.
Yeah, like, I find it weird that no one else is talking about this, so I really appreciate it, Robby, for,
Too.
you coming on every week and, like, talking about these things that really no one else in the industry is talking about,
Hear that, Robbie?
put it on your
Robbie,
shoulder.
I always tell you, people love you. Everyone loves you.
My heart
Yeah.
goes out to you and to everyone else who feels the same way as you. Thank you for your call.
Also, wait, I have a question.
Oh, you have a question?
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask, Jamel,
Huh?
Mel.
Huh?
what's up, man?
Huh? What's
Hey.
good?
How are you doing?
What's bracking? Hello? Can you hear? Hello, can you hear me?
We still have our caller?
Caller?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
I asked
you had a
Jamel
question for Jamel?
how.
Oh, I'm good.
Yeah,
baby.
Jamel, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing swell.
That's great. Nice to hear.
Hey. What's up with you, Holmes? You good?
Yeah, nothing much. A bit tired, but hanging in there.
Yeah.
Well, well, you could wake yourself up with a quick look back at Colony Wars if you have your PlayStation within arm's reach. Just pop in any Colony Wars disc, take off from your wherever the ship is before it takes off, and enjoy the adventure. We have a little. Jamel, we are going to take a quick break in a moment. We're going to look at some footage of our adventures. Alan and me had an adventure on the floor of the Level Up Expo in Las Vegas. Alan, would you like to say anything about the clip before we play it?
I'd like to. I would like Jamel to understand the full context of this clip. And when we went to the Level Up convention, I wasn't prepared for the temptations of Las Vegas, and I had an incredible time, but I wasn't.
Hey.
Robby, can you?
I get it.
This in the clip, it's not me. It's me, but it's a different. It's a version of me that I don't like.
You got caught out there. It happens.
And Alan, we're reporting to you live from the Level Up Expo. This is, of course, we ran into two snakes here at the convention center floor, right in the middle of the Level Up convention center floor. Very excited to talk to these two about the things that have brought them here, the interests that they have, and what they are experiencing at this wonderful, enthusiastic, and truly, I would say it is an honor to be here with you guys.
Yeah, it's really fun to be here. I actually ran into this guy before, and it was nice just to see him again. I'm from out of state, so seeing friends like this is always great at a convention.
That's such an amazing... We have just run into...
Sammy.
We've just run into Sammy. Wonderful, beautiful costume. We can take a look at this. If you're a big fan of Breath of the Wild, if you've ever found yourself wanting items and mixtures or ingredients, you can always look forward to seeing this guy hopping around. He's always got a smile on his face. He's always ready to help out.
I like when Robby always dresses up so cool. And then he says, "Oh, why don't you dress up?" And then I get to pick my costume. Sometimes he gets mad, but I try my hardest to be awesome dress up for Robby. And this is a electronic game information screen wipe. Do you want that?
Sure, yeah. They're great for glasses.
Jamie, if I could ask you a question, it's been sort of dogging me ever since I sort of decided to come to Level Up Expo in Las Vegas, which is that it requires some backstory, which is that last year at Electronic Game Information, we tried to make our own video game, and we failed in that endeavor. The process of that was extremely difficult and painful, and really rubbed us very raw. I feel like we have not come to grips with taking care of the cuts. The what do you call that when the cut won't heal? Wounds or cuts that won't heal, and so we decided to try and get back to the roots of what sort of got us started in the first place, in having the talk show and running the news, to have video game news live on AdultSwim.com, and that is the gamers themselves.
What was the question?
Well, the fact is,
I just want to first say that you have given me so much advice over the years that I have not listened to, and just being here in Vegas and having so much fun, I have now just decided that you are right about some things, and partying is fun, and drinking is fun, and sexual stuff is cool, and I just want to say that you rock, and I've been treating you unfairly, and I'm sorry to you and to you, because you've both been good friends to me.
I'm just looking around the room here. You see so many different sort of zones and people laying a line, creating a trench, getting into the trench with the people they love and care about. And I think that for me, it's difficult because so much of the last year has been spent kind of trying to be a different person than I was, and now being here among everyone, all of these wonderful, this wonderful community, I wonder if knowing that I had been on the wrong path, if I've now found the right one.
I think you have. I really, really think you have.
Two friends having fun. There's no laws in Las Vegas, so anything goes. And what's the best Metal Gear Solid game?
Easily Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. That's my cosplay for today. I'm Big Boss, and I love the gameplay. I love the story. I love everything about it, and it's great.
All right, Snake 1 and Snake 2, the twin snakes. I would like to ask you, what keeps you up at night? What's the nightmare?
I would say not having anything to eat in the jungle and not having anything to kill.
So not having anything to eat in the jungle, not having anything to kill. You eat snakes, you eat the swamp in the swamp. And but have you ever found it the hunger to be so great that you'd be willing to take the last final step and eat human flesh?
No, but it was so bad I got to the point where I ate the Metal Gear.
Big Boss.
What's the question?
Would you ever in the darkest moments of your adventures, have you ever had that the hunger becomes so great and you can't find the rabbits, you can't find the snakes themselves, and maybe the rations have run out, and your only friend at night is the plastic explosives that you use as the tripwires for the enemy, and you kill the enemy, and you're so damn hungry. That's the problem with these. That's the problem with being a snake, with being the sort of frontiersman, the one guy standing alone out there in the jungle, doing what needs to be done when all else ignorance has clouded the people in Washington and the evil men in Moscow. Would you ever eat a person?
I would never eat another person. No, never.
Thank you so much, Big Boss, Solid Snake, Big Boss, Solid Snake, and I hope
Big Bosses.
Two Big Bosses, the Twin Snakes, out now on the Nintendo GameCube, reissued for the Nintendo Switch, hopefully sometime in the future. Thank you so much for talking to us. And now,
I forgot to get the release forms, and I'm in trouble. Would you mind saying that you consent to us using this video on Adult Swim electronic game information?
Yes, I consent.
I consent.
Total consent from two people who are best friends in Solid Snake costumes. They're like Robby and Alan, the best friends.
they have what a wonderful sort of experience we had out there. It was
You guys are
great. We were out in Las Vegas.
Man.
We were meeting all these wonderful people. It was really a truly remarkable time.
Incredible.
Really reminds me of the importance of meeting new people and making connections with new people, so you're not always just relying on the same faces day in, day out. And with that, we will look at some of the wonderful art that people have sent in since last episode. This is fan art sent in by viewers, Jamel. This is a wonderful drawing here of, you can see that, of the Revenge of the Bird King, Birdman, the president, the king of the birds, son of the king of the birds, and of course the creature from the game that I made up. I made up a game, and that was part of it. So they're looking very scowly. They're at the lighthouse, and there's no lighthouse in the game I made up, and there's no lighthouse in the Revenge of the Bird King, so I don't know what that's about.
Pretty freaked out.
Right here we have some wonderful, and that was sent in, by Marco Hernandez. Marco Hernandez, thank you so much for your beautiful work that you've done. Chrissy Rose has sent this one in. This is a drawing of Alan as a kind of sort of figure that is filled with a sort of inner sort of fire. He's got he's on fire the way that maybe he was when he was out, having a great time on the streets of Las Vegas. A bit of a great time on the streets of Las Vegas.
Robbie,
Old Vegas. That's old Vegas.
Robbie, I
on
want to
Old
go
Vegas.
back. I don't want to be in Las Vegas.
Well, here you are having the same fire in your eyes that I saw when you became a slightly different version of the person that I'm familiar with here on Electronic Game Information.
Robbie, I'm sorry.
Sent in by Chrissy Rose. Alan, this
can't
is
hear you,
drawing
but
of
he accepts
Alan. This is Alan when he's seemed to have had a little bit too much time on Fremont Street. He hasn't
like
had
that
his
drawing.
hasn't rehydrated. He hasn't had
Don't show it
the
again.
kind of electrolyte solution that he
thank you.
needed
Thank
to
you, that I don't
kind
like-
of come back from that. You
I
can
was
see all these
I
wonderful-
was
If you
dehydrated.
can we
and
get
I got
you see all these
water-
wonderful
that much water.
details on
Robbie,
the
I don't wanna-
on the art
I
here?
don't wanna
It's
relive-
the
I know I
veins and
know-
the
I know
wrinkles
I
and the
didn't
dry
do-
skin, and when you sin, you evaporate.
Drop
The that was sent in, of course, by Benjamin Bayholtz. Benjamin Bayholtz, a friend of the show. Benjamin Bayholtz. Julia Santora sent this one in. Julia Santora sent in this drawing of Alan and me sort of having a remarkably dreamlike experience there in the casinos. You see the numbers.
Yeah.
You see the bar. What is bar? What is bar?
Candy?
Hey, Jamel, do you mind taking off that hat?
Oh, my bad. Look, I just wanted
That's kind of Robbie's hat.
Looks like a
And
sweet
we
little
have
bucket. My fault.
Thank you.
We have a series of Nathan Peterson, a friend of the show. Nathan Peterson has sent us in a series of. If you want to hold one of these, and I'll hold one of these, and Alan, if you were here, you would hold one too. But this is images of Alan and Ben, friend of the show, Ben and Cricket, all as their Smash Brothers avatars. Smash
one's
Brothers
tough.
avatar. What do you got there? Tell me what you're looking at there.
I like this guy right there.
This is this looks like Alan fighting Cricket.
Going hard.
Cricket is jumping in the air. She's leaping in the air. She's thunder and lightning, and Alan has got a paintbrush. So Alan is, perhaps not doing as well in this particular matchup.
Yeah, that's great.
See the close up of Alan, sort of folding as Cricket.
Robbie, I like when you show the
rises
art
into
that's
sky.
just drawings of Robbie and Alan.
I don't think
That's
that-
not a drawing, so I don't think.
Well, I
it's
did
art.
show a drawing of you and I. It is the Julia Santora drawing. It
That's the
was a wonderful. You can see your shirts sort of coming up here in the bottom. So we want to just we want to maybe this is a family show and we keep the skin to a minimum.
I'm sorry.
So that was the art that was sent in. What do you think about that, Jamel? It's wonderful to have you here to be able to share the art that is sent in by the people that watch the show, the people that care about this sort of family, this community that we've created.
I am truly happy
with
to be here.
me at the head of the household, and Alan is part of the household, and now you're part of the household.
Are you my dad?
Yes.
Robbie, who am I in the house? I'm like the
Alan, you are also in the household.
But who am
All
I
right,
in
so
the
let's
house?
take
But
you
you're
have
giving out.
that was the arts. Thank you so
You're
much for
giving
sending
out
in your art.
roles.
You are always welcome to send in art to electronicgameinformation@gmail.com or through our Twitter or Instagram. We're always happy to see the work that you guys do that is inspired by the things that we talk about here on the show. Let's go over to our letters. We have questions sent in from viewers. Alan, why don't you start us off with one of the questions that you've got over there?
This question comes from at Melody Burst on Twitter. They say, "What's the best Silent Hill game?" It's the letters.
Well, it's the letters. And back to you, Alan. The best Silent Hill game is, of course, most people would say Silent Hill 2. But I particularly like the first Silent Hill a little bit better.
Me too.
I find it's a little bit scarier. I think that the lower resolution, the sort of blurrier textures, the chunkier character models, there's something that is done with working within the limitations at the time. That obviously they had limitations for the PlayStation 2 Silent Hill games, but I think that the PlayStation 1 Silent Hill game reigns supreme. What do you have a favorite?
I liked who was in that movie? Was that Renee Zellweger?
It's kind of a game show. We're talking about games.
Silent Hill movie.
Silent Hill. And okay, here's a question from Ian Erickson. Ian Erickson via Twitter asks, "What do you consider the jazz of games?"
Ooh.
That's a great question. What do we consider the jazz of games? My first inclination is to say Jazz Jackrabbit. Jazz Jackrabbit, the action platformer that was a big PC hit back in the early 90s or perhaps even the late 80s, Alan. I mean, you're the Jazz Jackrabbit expert. Why don't you give us your thoughts on that?
Jazz Jackrabbit was quite a jazzy little rabbit, and he is a side scroller, and he would hop around. And he ate carrots, and I think he shot bullets, but he maybe shot carrots, and that's one of the jazziest games in games, Jazz Jackrabbit.
Great question. And Doctor Who 42 asks, what is your favorite abandonware game? A game that never made it to the shelf, and a game that you never got to play. Jamel, why don't you tell us what your favorite abandonware game is?
My favorite one is probably Shenmue Back for Christmas.
And that is, of course, when the Christmas time, the Christmas spirit has sort of found its way into the Shenmue world.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And what is your? I have one last question, which is, oh gosh. And what is your favorite JRPG on the Dreamcast, and why is it Skies of Arcadia? It is not Skies of Arcadia. It is Elemental Gimmick Gear.
Yes.
Great. So let's have our quiz. We're going to do a special. We're doing a special thing tonight. We're doing a quiz. It's going to test your Colony Wars. It's going to test your Colony Wars knowledge. Is that knowledge is the right word? Great.
I think so.
And let's go to the phones and let's get the quiz started. If you answer the questions correctly, you may win a prize. Hello, you're on the air with Electronic Game Information, and we are doing our Colony Wars quiz. Are you ready to play the Colony Wars quiz?
Yep.
Absolutely not, but I will try.
All right, let's go to the first question. The first question for the Colony Wars quiz. In the third act of the Cronus missions in Colony Wars Vengeance, who warns Mertens that his laser will not be enough to penetrate the League mining facility's shields and that he must use his grappling hook to toss asteroids at it? Is it A, Lawson, B, Drake, C, Kron, or D, Mace Griffin, Bounty Hunter?
Okay. Can I call a friend?
No.
Okay.
You can ask
I'm
Alan
going D.
if you have a.
Oh, ask Alan. I'll call Alan. Alan,
what's up?
Alan, you're the Colony Wars expert. We have someone wants to lifeline you a sort of query.
I'm ready to help. What is the question?
In the third act of the Cronus missions in Colony Wars Vengeance, who warns Mertens that his laser will not be enough to penetrate the League mining facility shields and that he must use his grappling hook to toss asteroids at it?
Yeah. That's the grappling when you release it.
Well, it's more of a silent thing because it is in outer space after all.
All right. Okay. That's fine.
And you want me to answer that for who's asking this? The caller's asking me.
Caller's asking for some help. So maybe a little bit of insight. You could give
I'm
a little
Andy.
bit of a hint.
Would you like? I don't know the answer,
Steve?
but we could.
well,
My-
which answer radiates the best energy for you?
It's got to be Kron. C Kron for various reasons.
I know you like them crons.
Okay. C or D?
Is that what is that?
Well, you know, something.
Do you?
You know what? I'm gonna go with Alan.
I'm going to go with C, Kron. Unfortunately, the answer is B, Drake. Drake was the one who told you to use the grappling hook to throw the asteroids at it because the shields are too thick.
You got smoke, baby.
The shields are too thick. I'm sorry, but we will have to move on to our next caller
sorry.
the next question. Caller,
smoked your dumb ass.
Do we have a next? Our next contestant is on the line. We are playing the Colony Wars quiz here on Electronic Game Information. Are you ready?
Yeah.
This is the second question. Which Colony Wars game was spread out over 2 CDs? A, Colony Wars, B, Colony Wars Vengeance, C, Colony Wars Red Sun, or D, Mace Griffin Bounty Hunter?
Gotta be C.
I'm sorry, it is A. It is A. The first Colony Wars was the only Colony Wars to be on 2 whole CDs. The amount of the storage needed for all of those different clips, different sort of FMV sequences for all the different branching paths that the storyline could take. So 2 CDs. I am sorry, you are wrong.
Also smoke.
Next call. Oh, we have another caller on the air for the third question of the Colony Wars quiz. Caller, are you ready to play?
I'm ready.
All right, so this is the third question. Colony Wars Red Sun, In Colony Wars Red Sun, Alexander Lyron Valdemar dreams of a mythical ship called the Red Sun and an alien race known as the Ko-Kui-Jun. That's A, Ko-Kui-Jun. B, the Shahar. C, the Vine. Or D, the Valiakan.
Well, repeat D.
D is the Valiakan.
A? What was A?
Ko-Kui-Jun. And
pick
unfortunately, you are incorrect. It is the Shahar. Ko-Kui-Jun was a name that I made up.
Yeah.
So thank you for your call, but you are wrong. We are on to our fourth question. We are looking for our fourth caller, our fourth contestant. If caller, you are on the air. Are you ready to play the Colony Wars quiz with Jamel and Robby?
I am.
And Alan.
And
Yes,
Alan.
I am.
All right, so
Yeah.
question 4. During which mission must Slater escort Natalie Argenta from the spaceport to Krakow Corporation HQ? Is it A, Diomedes, B, Gallinger, C, Alpha Centauri, or D, Mission 7 from G-Police?
Hey.
G.
Police.
Do we have an
Is
answer?
it B?
B,
Yeah,
Gallinger?
it's
I'm
B.
sorry, it was not B, Gallinger. It was not any of these. It was a trick question. It is Mission 5 from G-Police, a different series of
I'll
games.
give you a hint.
Related
I'm trying to give
somewhat
you a
to
hint.
Colony Wars, but not entirely. Jamel, what do you think of not a single one right? So I think this really goes to show that the work that we are doing here on the show, the reason that we had you come into the show, is that much more important.
Education,
because to educate
enlightenment.
people about the
we
Colony
gotta
Wars.
Get focus.
And
People ain't focused.
People are not focused. They're not focused on the things that matter, the historical markers that the games industry has gone through over the years, and we are so disappointed.
Can I get plug in? Mind if I say something real quick?
Absolutely.
I just put out a little album. It's called I Think It's Good. It's everywhere. Jamel Johnson. It's spelled correctly at the bottom of the thing. It's called I Think It's Good. Please download it. I love you.
Thank you, Jamel, and thank you so much for stopping by. Everybody, please check out Jamel Johnson online. Jamel Johnson is also on Twitter and Instagram and all sorts of places, performing live all around Los Angeles and all around the Southwest as a region. Alan, would you like to introduce the next clip that is going to play Jamel out of the studio and out of our lives, but hopefully not for too long. Not for too long. We're so happy to have
Just long enough. I dig it.
I would just first like to say thank you to Jamel for coming on Electronic Game Information.
Hey, Alan, thanks for having me, big dog. Hey, Vegas.
Yeah.
What's poppin'? If any of them old ladies is still handing out escort cards, tell them holler at me. Okay. You know.
Well, great. Yes, EGI family is happy to welcome.
It's a big family.
Alan, I love you. I hope you never come back, but I love you, baby boy. I love you.
Thank you.
Personally, not in connection with this show.
Love that. So Jamel, you might not know this, but in this show, Electronic Game Information, we often express our feelings through poetry, and I made a video poem about Las Vegas, my just general confusion about me, my body, and just sort of physical stuff that's happening with me that's pretty personal, but I chose to express it through poetry, if that makes any sense.
Body to body, yeah.
And I'm so sorry, and everything here is weird.
I mean, no, that's fair. That's fair. The air is different. It hits different. It's like doing a snow globe, but instead of like fake water, it's just cigs.
Thank you. So, Robby, this is kind of like an apology.
Yeah, you can watch the video. It should be over. And now it is time, of course, for the list. This is a list of Psygnosis games. If you are a fan of Psygnosis games, you will find some very familiar names on the list. Starting off the list, City of Lost Children, followed by Shadow Master, Assault Rigs, Blast Radius, Chronicles of the Sword, G-Police, G-Police Weapons of Justice, Crazy Ivan, Sentient, Destruction Derby 64, ODT, Silver Load, Roll Cage, Discworld, Discworld 2, Brian the Lion, Wipeout, Wipeout XL, Wipeout 3, Wipeout 64, Rascal, Bram Stoker's Dracula, and Sentinel 2. That was the list. I don't know about you guys, but I cannot wait to see Jamel again. His presence here tonight added so much to the show, added so much levity and humor, and I will just be holding my breath for the day that he can return. And that was Electronic Game Information's Level Up Expo coverage, Episode 3. We will be back next week at the same time for Episode 4. We went a little bit over tonight, so my apologies to those of you that stayed up a little bit later than expected, but please send us your thoughts, send us your art and questions and emails at electronicgameinformation@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. You can also contact us through those avenues as well. Thank you so much to Jamel Johnson. Please check him out when you can, and give a thought to Alan. Thanks again.
How far did we go?